I think what is really fascinating about the second sonata comes from the fact that it is able to remain in almost an entirely happy vein throughout, and all four of its movements are in their own ways happy, but it never gets tiresome in any way. And the first movement, there's this sort of muted content that we get from fairly legato, long themes, very nondescript tempos and dynamics, mezzo forte, moderato. It starts most of the first movement is sort of couched in this very, very warm embrace. It has a very turbulent middle section, the development section, where we have this completely new theme that's extremely jagged and militaristic, where we so something along those lines, where everything sort of arises from that before it falls back into the original splendor. So that's the first movement. The second movement, it is in a minor key, but it's in a very, very playful A minor. And it also returns to the original key of D major in the middle section. And we have that's the violin part, so I can't play it off the top of my head. But just even the very sort of teasing piano part, which goes, and so on and so forth. It's very light. And so we have already this contrast between this sort of laid backness of the first movement and this very sprightly second movement. We get into this short but very intimate slow movement where I was sort of talking earlier about Prokofiev's ability to write these incredibly long and beautiful melodies that stay with one, which I don't think a lot of composers in the 20th century possess, but he's able to do find his way from F major to C major, which is a pretty typical classical way of writing melodies, but he takes the most roundabout way possible to reach this destination. And so this movement, it's something that is more of an appetizer in between the scherzo and this very triumphant, very jovial finale, which almost errs on the side of belligerent sometimes, where we go. Something along those lines, where it's got this absolute earworm that Prokofiev, to great effect, it starts out being triumphant, and over time, with the repetitions of it, it can actually seem a little bit threatening. But for the most part, there are these four different veins of joy that come through in this second sonata.